great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Grab a pack, grab your friends. Everything else in life can wait. Your friends shouldn't. Let's go. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340. WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fanrun Radio.
You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fanrun Radio.
T to the B, jamming on the one, jamming on the twos, jamming on the threes on a Thursday. Live with you, all eyes, ladies and gentlemen, on the Music City. Not just because in a couple of weeks the SEC tournament's going to take place down there, but because we've reached a stretch drive of the season. And part of the stretch drive for our Tennessee Volunteers, your Tennessee Volunteers, my Tennessee Volunteers, or your club, we've reached a stretch drive. Maybe you're an Auburn fan today. Maybe you're waking up realizing that Bruce Pearl isn't walking back through that door. Look, I'm of the belief that Stephen Pearl was not set up to succeed with the team he has. But that's me. But thought occurred to me last night while we were doing the Garza Law basketball overtime, which was a really fun show last night after an Oklahoma game. And Brian, great for you, man. Great for you that you had a chance to see that and experience that live. You know, with your post-game duties, Brian, you don't get much of a chance, should we say, to get the games. What was it like last night for you, Brian?
Well, I like the closing kick. I saw a team that looked like they could finish the game, and they got a kid who can go off for nearly 30 points anytime in Nate Ament, who, when the other team, Oklahoma, was making a run, it seemed like he had an answer every chance he got. And he kept enough separation that I think could probably pay off long-term down the road.
Hey, Matt, we're going to have
the ceiling to me looks like it potentially could be higher than we think.
Matt Dixon's
one thing to think about is that they've won 8 of 10 games in the last month. 8 of 10. And they should have probably won 9, if not all 10 of them.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, Matt, we've kind of missed the boat. This year has been a great year in college basketball, and we got a little sneak preview of that last night. You had the DeBonza kid facing Arizona out west, which was a great game. Arizona was losers of 2 in a row. I mean, you can just feel You can just feel the March Madness. You can just feel it in the air. There was such a sense of jubilation and of anticipation, like Brian's talking about. And it truly is one of the great sporting events in the world. And the regular season's a little bit of drudgery, no doubt about it. The regular season's a little bit of it's a long slog to get to this point. But you can kind of sense, like last night, the craziness with that Arizona or with Alabama and Arkansas, just a wild game, a crazy game down at Texas A&M. This postseason is going to be so fun. So freaking fun, guys. So fun. Is this not going to be fun?
It is every year.
But this year it's going to be really wild with these great freshman players.
Did you see the end of the Missouri-Vandy game where Vandy hits a three to get within one, and then for some reason they throw it right to Tanner, who nearly hits a half-court shot to win, and it rimmed out?
Vanderbilt was down double digits late. They came from way back in that game.
One of the worst. That has been one of the worst choke jobs ever.
Hey, Dixon, in your humble opinion, how good is college hoops right now this season we're seeing with these fabulous freshmen all over the country?
Oh, I think it's really good. It's a great freshman class with a lot of high level players that are carrying teams. We'll see how much of that transitions into the tournament, because it's usually a veteran kind of guard dominant tournament. So you have all these elite freshmen that are just wildly talented. It should be a lot of fun. And I mean, you just have so much parity as well, especially with the high major teams. I'm not sure the mid majors are quite as good as they used to be, because their best players are getting plucked off a year or two early than they would be on like a really good veteran team with four guys returning, like four starters back that you see make deep runs. But it should be I don't think it'll be a chalky tournament either, because of that parity. There'll be a lot of quote unquote upsets where it's really matchup dependent, and there's just such high volatility with teams across the country, and Tennessee's just an example of that. But it's all across the sport where 10, 12, 15-point leads aren't safe anymore, really, for anybody, even at home.
Yeah, we had a terrific time last night on the post-game show, just celebrating what was a great night. I mean, that was some high-level stuff in Thompson Bowling last night. Tennessee played extraordinarily well, and yet Oklahoma, it wasn't that Oklahoma was within 6 at the final, the penultimate TV timeout, the under 8. It wasn't one of those things where Tennessee fooled around and kind of gagged around and did their thing where they're kicking balls off their feet and throwing bad passes and not paying attention on defense. It was just that Oklahoma just kept hitting shots. I mean, it was high level. It was high level. It was fun.
Nigel Pack could miss.
It was so fun. Yeah, Pack was incredible. I mean, it was just and then last night on the post-game show, it was just an amazingly fun time. It really was. So we have a lot to get into today. Very little time to get there. The number, if you want to get in with us, is 865-200-5402. I'm starting to wonder right now with the season Nate Immense put together. Hey, Dixon, in your lifetime, is he an all-time great to put on the uniform here? Or can't you say that about a freshman? Because his numbers in league play at the end of the year are going to be astounding if he keeps scoring like he is.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think he's easily the best one-and-done player you've had. I mean, really, only Kennedy Chandler could even come close to that in terms of freshmen.
Yes.
But I think a lot of his legacy is going to come down to hopefully a couple of weekends in March. And and how far he carries this team.
Well,
from a talent perspective, he's kind of an all-time great, and he's just basically unguardable at the college level when he gets the ball.
Well, it's like when I first met Maury, he said the thing that Tennessee doesn't have that a lot of these other teams have that go to these routine Final Fours is they don't have that unguardable guy. They've never had that unguardable guy. Grant Williams was more of a workhorse, Matt, but he wasn't like an unguardable guy. He wasn't a guy you could give the ball to 20 feet out and say, okay.
Dalton Connect is kind of the only one that I can think of.
That's right.
You can give the ball to and he could go score.
That's right.
Kennedy Chandler was pretty good at that, but he wasn't big. But no, it's true. Jordan McRae was pretty good that one year.
Good. But one of those guys.
But for the most part, Tennessee doesn't have that dude that you just is going to just take the ball and go score. And
Josh Richardson sort of almost did that.
Almost.
In a weird way, it's almost like Barnes doesn't recruit those types of players either, though. Those kind of like ball dominant guys that do stuff like that. Kind of connects kind of the outlier there.
That's right. Because Barnes isn't a play caller guy. He's not I'm going to call plays.
They run their motions and sets and just kind of whoever gets the shot takes it. They don't.
Yeah. What was crazy about last night's game is, and I was exchanging texts with C last night. He's right there courtside. He says, that's the most called plays under Rick Barnes that he can remember in Rick Barnes' era in a basketball game. It's almost like they knew that we're going to have to really be on it tonight on offense. We're not going to be able to waste too many possessions against these guys the way they're playing on offense. Because as we said, coming into the game, Oklahoma's offensive efficiency was through the charts. Now, Tennessee really screwed up their opportunity to, get a higher seed early in the postseason. That was kind of when they couldn't beat these teams and really, beat the spread and the number and all that stuff. And so in last night's game, they knew, hey, our calling card tonight is going to be quality offensive possessions, and we've got to get some easy scores against these guys. Because if we get pushed into a game where we have to score with them, it's going to be very difficult to play tit for tat with them on offense. That Oklahoma team is really, really good on offense. Brian, they don't play a lick of defense, though. They don't rebound the ball. They don't play a lick of defense. And when they got that thing within 6 and they called Ament's number twice in a row, that was some phenomenal stuff. Phenomenal. 2 turning points in last night's game, actually 3 of them. Ament getting a 3-point play when they were on a 10-0 run. That was pretty huge. That was him feeling the game and, just showing some savvy, a little bit of veteran savvy. Hey, this is my time. I gotta slow this game down here for one and all. It's getting ready to speed up on us. The other one was when Gillespie comes up with that ball and flips it over to Okpara. I don't know what it was, but Okpara went into beast mode after that dunk. He was in beast mode. We haven't seen Okpara that lit maybe since he's been in a Tennessee uniform, which has to give Tennessee fans a lot of hope. That just has to give you hope. If you're looking for things to draw out of last night's game to give you hope, that's got to give you hope. And then the third thing was it's a 6-point game late, and they called Ament's number twice in a row. And C says those were called plays. He says, look, I'm right behind the bench. Those were called plays. So interesting stuff, guys, all the way around from our basketball team last night. Matt, we do this every year, right? And because Barnes is so good at this, we start getting a little bit of, I don't know if it's false hope, but I'm a little more hopeful, like Brian said, with this team than I was a couple weeks ago. Do you share that, Matt, or are you still feeling ceiling-y with this bunch? Because I saw some things last night that give me some reason to kind of go, maybe they could outplay their seed this year.
Yeah, I mean, you still can. I mean, because you've got two just elite offensive players that are kind of wings guards that can take over games, and you're still pretty good defensively. You're not elite, but you're still very good.
Yeah.
I still think it's a flawed team, but everybody's kind of flawed. I do think you need a couple of good matchups to do some of that stuff. And, I actually think you need Estrella healthy too, because he's a little bit better defensively and can guard, more area than like Brown and especially Carey. So I think you need him to be healthy for the postseason. But yeah, I mean, there's more than enough there to be excited going into the tournament, because I mean, you're going to be like a 4 through 6 seed somewhere in there, almost certainly, and that gives you a puncher's chance every year when you have a seed like that.
The crazy thing about the Vols is they're 19-7, they're 9-4 in the league, and they're 16 according to Ken Palm right now. Last year, they were 20-6, 8-5 in the league at this point, and they were a 4 at Ken Palm. And the truth is, the difference between them being a 2 or 3 seed or a 4 or 5 seed is the fact that they could not put it on the CRIP teams, the bye games earlier in the year. That's the reason that they destroy the bye game teams in December in previous years during Barnes, because it's called gimmicking the system. Gimmicking, going out there and beating that number. And Bryce said, well, there were a couple games where the number was 35 or 40. Well, there's a reason for that. There's a reason that the number was 35 and 40. It's because you're supposed to beat them by 35 or 40. And this team struggled with a Tennessee State. No offense to them. Last night, when they put their foot on the gas, Brian, the last 6 minutes of the game, and ran away from a team, that looked like a high-level basketball team that we saw, finally.
What they did was, defensively, it looks like Gillespie came up with 8 steals, which is a school record. And that's one area where that we thought, if this team's going to do better than we think they're going to do, if they're going to outplay their expectation, they've got to get better defensively. And we saw some of that last night. Oklahoma's a good offense, and they were able to disrupt it enough, and Gillespie got 8 steals out of it.
Brian, Puerto Rican Willie Stargell said there's 2,246,400 seconds until March Madness, Brian.
Well, there's a few less seconds than that now.
I want to go to the phones, get as many people in here as humanly possible. That's the context, tone, and tenor of our show. What do you think of Nate Ament? And right now, his kind of historical significance. This guy's on an all-time heater right now. 29 last night. And shout out to the Hubbard kid, Matt. You and I were watching. John Adams calling me while the show's on. Should I answer it like Titans Bill? So we take a brief time out. Why is John Adams calling me? I hope he butt dialed me. That's a kind of old people props, Bryce. We say in the trade, right? Butt dialed me, maybe. Old people props, Bry. What do you think?
That's an every people problem.
And by the way, shout out to Maury Hanks last night. Awesome job by him. That was fun having him on. He's going to come back and do some more with us. Some more post games. But 865-200-5402. C says he's coming back. So we're going to get back with you on the other side. Want to hear from you. And this Hubbard guy last night.
More load management than that.
This C guy. Hey, this C guy is a trucking bodo. Come on, man. This guy is.
I mean, good Lord. LeBron,
are you kidding me?
He's kind of been tanking it.
Exactly. The Sacramento Kings think they think season. I like the Kings. They just shut 2 guys down yesterday. It's the All-Star break. Let's just shut 2 guys down. We're going to play for a draft pick. What the hell? There's zero integrity in the NBA. Ready? Zero. The referees several years ago got caught scamming the airlines. on frequent flyer miles. Tim Donaghy was fixing games. Need I say more? It's borderline sports entertainment, and half the teams are not trying, to the point where the commissioner said, we're thinking about doing away with our draft. Bri, did you see that the other day? The commissioner said, we're really thinking about doing away with the draft because of what the teams at the bottom are doing.
Well, do away with about 20 to 25 games. That would work. That's what they should have been doing. That's what they should do. It's too logical, so they won't.
It's an awful product. It's an awful product. So we take a brief time out.
Makes too much sense.
I mean, it's almost to the point where, you know, it's unwatchable. Compare the college game to that right now. College game, the season's warming up. Everybody's trying to get in. There's no reason to tank. And this thing in the NBA, if you have season tickets right now, literally 40% of the teams are trying to lose.
Maybe they should do another in-season play-in tournament or whatever they did.
It's just so awful. So bad. And the sad thing is, it's great. It's full of great young players, but it's a broken system. There are more guys in the NBA being paid to sit there. I mean, what is that? I don't even respond to that. So we continue with more on the other side right after this.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio Show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm going to hop online and I'm going to get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols.
Newsflash, Basilio listeners, the spring real estate market just moved up. Yes, it's chilly outside and you're still in your puffy coat, but if you need to sell your East Tennessee property, you could be the hottest house on the block. Hi there. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. February is the sweetheart month of real estate, and savvy sellers know exactly what that means. Get ahead of the game and give me a call at 865-694-5904 or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols!
Yeehaw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues. Every bet type you can imagine. Live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today. Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Chilio here, and my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company. TB back with you. Matt Dixon had a great line last night on our Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime show, because one of the things we do is we watch along with some of the crazy stuff that's going on. And this year it's going to be really nuts down the stretch here. Because, again, there's so many great young players and they're stars. And, sports are driven by stars, but they're also driven by, show me something I haven't seen before. And last night, you have a double overtime game in Alabama. I assumed the game was over. I assumed that Alabama won the game. If you go back and listen last night, I didn't have the monitor on, but I assumed that both Alabama and A&M, because Alabama late had a couple possession lead on that Arkansas bunch, but that kid from that freshman at Arkansas is just one awesome player. But Bri, give me the thing with Calamari, because they squid it out last night. Listen to this.
Teams that had scored 115 plus points and turned it over 10 or fewer times, were 247-0. And Arkansas just made it 247-1.
Sure. Not a good week for the Kentucky Tree. Not a good week for the Kentucky Tree. By the way, just looking at a top 10 list of freshmen here, because look, I'm not trying to be that guy, okay? But you know how good this freshman class is? Nate Ament's not at the top of it. That's how good the freshman class is. In most years, a kid like him, he's easily one of the top 5 players in the deal. Easily. Now, Rick Barnes said by the end of the thing, he'll be the best player in the tournament. I will say this. If he continues to progress like he has in the past month, I'm not going to argue with Rick Barnes. Got to be honest with you. 6 weeks ago, I thought Rick Barnes was smoking things from plants, or at least taking his CBD oil, or his gummies, shall we say. Matt, you tell me if you agree or disagree with this list, and you tell me when we have somebody that Nate Ament belongs above. Are you ready? Number 1 is Cameron Boozer. I'm just looking at it. I just pulled up a random list here. And these guys were ranked yesterday. So a new fresh list is out. You have him above. Do you have Nate Ament above Cam Boozer?
No, Boozer's been more consistent and just puts up crazy good numbers.
He's awesome.
No, he's really, really good.
I despise Duke with every fiber of my being. But that kid, when he came in here for that exhibition game, he did not look like an 18-year-old kid that had not played a college basketball game yet. I don't know what planet he came from, but it's like he's from Lovetron. Moving along. The number 2 player right now is A.J. Dabansa, who BYU paid a ton of money. Matt, your thoughts on him? His top performance thus far, a 43.6 rebound, 3 assist game against the Utah Utes. Do you have him above Nate Ament?
Yeah, he's been a little bit better throughout the season, and he's one of the few guys that was ranked ahead of Ament in those rankings, and he's lived up to it. He's really good.
Their number 3 player, up from number 4, is Darius Acuff, who last night from Arkansas, Matt, went for how many in that 113-point outing?
He went for 49. He hit the game-tying 3 to send the game to overtime. And he obviously he needed at least 51 for his team to have had a chance to win.
He had 49.
I think he's really good, and he's a point guard, so you can just ride guys like him.
Again, this is the deal. I'm not doing this to put Ament down because I love Nate Ament. I'm saying Nate Ament's an all-time great here already. I don't know. We've seen the likes of him here. This is how good this class is. Listen to this. Now you listen up. Because we're taking you under wing. If you don't watch the rest of basketball, we're taking you under wings right now. Okay? That's what we're doing, Joshy boy. Darius Acuff last night had 49, but here's the thing. While he had 49 points, you would think a guy with getting scored in 49 in a game is going to have a reckless night, right? He had 5 assists and only 1 turnover. While he's scoring 49, Matt, he was 6 of 10 last night from 3-point range. I mean, is that any good, Matt? Is that any good?
Yeah, whenever you score more points than you have shots, that's an efficient night.
Here's a guy that I might have to argue with. He's up there. He's a North Carolina guy. The Carolina guys are always a little overrated in my mind. Caleb Williams is ranked number 4 on this list, Matt. You agree or disagree with that from North Carolina?
I mean, to date, probably, but I think he's out for the season now, which basically ends Carolina's season.
Oh, you're right. He's got a fractured hand.
I think he broke a
hand at Miami. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so he's out for the year. So
take him off the list. Take him off the list.
At this point, he might have had a better season than Ament, but he's not going to be playing in the tournament.
So he's for sure not as good as Ament. Let's go to number 5. Keaton Wagler from Illinois, who we've seen, shooting guard extraordinaire. So far, his biggest output of the year is, he's got a 46 burger a night against Purdue about 3 weeks back. What do you think of that kid, Matt?
Yeah, he's become their star. He had a really good game against Tennessee.
Yes.
Kind of got one of the early games that kind of got him going, but he's turned it up to another level. I think everybody you've mentioned so far has had a 40-point game.
Yes.
Maybe Boozer probably hasn't, but
yes.
And that's the thing about Amen is he doesn't, he could be a little bit more ball dominant and take more shots. Like he could have easily got 40 last night if he wanted to.
Easily, Matt. Easily.
But yeah, I mean, that guy for Illinois is really, really good.
Again,
he's got a really good cast around him, too.
Again, I'm trying to argue here. I'm trying to find someone that I go, man, Amen's better than this guy. The next one on the list. This is how deep this class is. This is just that tournament. All these guys, except for the kid from North Carolina, are going to be in it, and it's going to be wild. Kingston Flemings is the next one. Now, we saw Kingston Flemings back in November. We were pumped on that postgame show. That was a Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime, a right over the Thanksgiving holiday celebration for the ages. It makes the hair on the top of my head, the one hair I have, because I forgot to shave today, stand right up. So I've got one hair on my head. It looks like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree on the top of my head right now. Kingston Flemings is a phenomenal point guard. Phenomenal. Houston might be cutting nets down at the end of the year, Matt, because of Kingston Flemings.
Yeah, he was really good against us. Kind of carried them and kept them in the game for a lot of it. So he was their best player against Tennessee. Yeah, He's really, really good.
And again,
him and Acuff were easily the two best freshman point guards in the country.
And again, I love Amen, but I couldn't put Amen above him with a straight
point. But I think Amen's continuing to get better. So I
totally agree.
You can say that Amen's could outplay all these guys when it matters the most.
And by the way, Kingston Fleming's top output, he had a 42-point game. Matt's right. These guys are all been in the 42 club. That's an interesting little aside Matt has. He did that against Texas Tech back on Jan 24. Mikhail Brown's up next. He's a junior point guard from Louisville. He, in the previous survey I'm looking at here over on ESPN, was unranked. And now he's ranked 7. He had a 45-point, 9-rebound, 3 steal, 10 for 16 from three-point range game against NC State a few days ago. Any thoughts, Matt, on him, Mikhail Brown?
He's really, really good scoring guy. Didn't play against Tennessee. That was he missed about a month.
Yes.
And I think the Tennessee game was the first one he missed. So that was when we just kind of steamrolled them because they couldn't do anything. But he's a really, really good scorer. And again, is one of these guys that can kind of carry a team for a round or a weekend. So yeah, he's really good. I don't know if him and Amen are probably kind of similar in terms of how they've done this year.
And then Nate Amen's number 8. Nate Amen is ranked ahead of Darrell Peterson, who went from 2 to 9. This Peterson guy at Kansas, and somebody said it in the chat, and it's a great line, is going to be over on YouTube, which is a great way to consume the show. Go over there and like and subscribe, and then hit the like button when we're live on the air. It helps other people find it and us continue to grow. But Darren Peterson, guard from Kansas, he's perfect. He's a perfect NBA prospect. He kind of plays when he wants to. Let me say this about Nate Amen. He knows that his body is a temple. He knows that he's a huge investment. He knows that he's a meal ticket for a lot of people around him. He knows he's got an inordinate amount of God-given ability. He knows all these things, okay? He dives on the floor. He plays really hard on the defensive end. He is pretty unselfish. If I could change one thing about Nate Amen, I'd make him more ball dominant. If I could change one thing about Tennessee basketball, Gillespie takes less shots and Amen takes more shots. How you like those apples? Apples. Do you like apples? That's the one thing I would change about this team going forward. Gillespie takes less shots and Amen takes more shots. How about those apples, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see Ament have a little bit more shots. Yeah, because Gillespie does force a couple of shots a game. He forces.
Yep.
I think Maury pointed that out last night. Yeah, he does do that, but as long as one of those two are taking the majority of your shots,
yes,
I can kind of live with that. But yeah, it would be nice if Ament had a little bit more and to get close to that 40-point mark that all these other freshmen have gotten to.
Because he can do it. I mean, last night, like Matt said, all he has to do, all Gillespie has to do is take about 6 less three balls. And listen, Gillespie was phenomenal last night. I mean, he set the school record for steals. He did it on the defensive end. He was 1,000% engaged on defense last night. I'm telling you, that game gives me a lot of hope. Let's go back to the phones. 865-200-5402. We'll get as many people in here as humanly possible. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
What's up, Tony? Grant, Birmingham. How are you?
Hey, Grant in Birmingham. Welcome in.
Yeah, I've been listening to most of the week to a lot of your barn stuff. I haven't been able to call in, but I kind of my take over the week has changed a little bit based off what we've seen. But really appreciate the dialogue y'all have had, and I agree with a lot of what some of the callers have said and what y'all have said. But kind of what I was going to say, even watching the last couple of nights, people, and I get why some people may be tired of the barn stuff, and I get your point about after 10 years, people are ready to move on. But it's like, I do hope people are opening their eyes and are seeing what is happening at Auburn and what's happening at Kentucky, despite their annoying ability to beat us. This fall, and I'm not even saying anyone specifically has said this, but this fall that we're going to just be able to hire a new coach and keep winning at this insane level that we've done, I think is extremely naive. You can call me a barn suspender, whatever. But we're talking about Kentucky here. And I know they made their little run to the Sweet 16 last year before we knocked them out. But they're just another team right now. They're another team under Pope. I don't really know why they hired the guy, but that's Kentucky we're talking about. Auburn has won. Now, obviously, they don't have the long-term history, but Auburn's won as much as anybody the last decade. They're up there with us in Alabama. They've immediately fallen off, which that's not any shocker with Stephen Pearl being the coach. But they're 5-8 in the first season post Bruce Pearl. And, I look at it, there's obviously a few teams in the league that aren't spending a ton of money, but, it's not 2015 anymore when Barnes and Pearl and Oates, that kind of, era when they all got hired. Everybody in the SEC minus 2 or 3 teams cares and is spending a lot of money. So, it's very easy to slip back to the middle of the pack. And like I said, I just think, and even some of my beef too, is a lot of people, for a long time, you could rightfully point to the March disappointments under Barnes and say, he's holding us back. Well, have people forgotten the last 3 seasons, what we've done in March? we weren't able to get over the hump of Purdue and Houston. Those were both years that was the second best team in the entire country.
Yep.
It's like we've been to 3 Elite Eights. We've been to 2 of those 3 in the last 23 months. What I just don't really get. And 3 years ago, we had Zakai Ziegler tear his ACL the last week of the season. We literally had one offensive player. We had Vescovy, who was the only player that could score on that team. And by the way, that year he beat Duke in what I would argue is a top 5 win in our program's history in the second round to get us to Sweet 16. So I don't even really get what the March stuff is, why we're being critical of. And this team's frustrating to watch sometimes, but are you watching college sports nowadays? Every team in every sport is frustrating because the talent is so equal. So I don't know. I'm not trying to get on a soapbox. I know we've kind of hashed this out. Y'all hashed it out.
No, it's really good because,
I've been waiting to make that point. I don't get it. What am I missing? What are we mad about?
You're right. And Grant, it was born out of my frustration for the tone of our Saturday Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime. I came on the air Monday, just kind of shared my heart with the audience that maybe that thing had run its course. And then last night we had a very upbeat show after a win, and really that's the way it ought to be. Now, are there things to criticize? Sure.
Of course.
Is this team
that is why you're
maddening?
the best in the business, and your show's the best in the business.
This team's maddening, right? This team's maddening. Okay, we can all agree with that. Here's the thing about Pearl and Auburn. Bruce Pearl would not have left if they had a great team. He knew this was going to be a middling team. That's what these guys do. And he wanted to give it to his son. And my understanding is they've given his son a 2-year deal there. So that'll be like a short-term thing, and then they'll be on to their next guy. And I kind of feel for Steven in a way, even though he's going to bank some life-changing money, but I kind of feel for him in a way, because if his dad gets out of the sport, what's his place in it? Once the train quits running at Auburn.
Some of this stuff, kind of what I've heard down here behind the scenes on that is like, I think Stevens tried to get some other jobs, because I think that's what would have hypothetically been the best scenario for the whole thing, is let him go to, Troy or Georgia State, something around here regionally.
Right.
But I don't think he could get hired anywhere. I don't think those places would hire him.
And that's kind of my point.
And obviously, it's funny because, people down here, and I get it, they like Bruce the same way people in Knoxville love Bruce.
Sure.
But they've kind of acted, I've had talked to some people who act shocked that Bruce Pearl would do this, that he would put his family, he would put himself in front of Auburn. We thought he loved Auburn. And I'm like, where have y'all been? Have y'all not? I mean, obviously, I get winning pulls the wool in front of everybody. And I'm sure Bruce Pearl loves Auburn. And I think Bruce Pearl, part of him still loves Tennessee.
Hey, I'm not going to.
He was always going to do what's best for him and his son.
Well, and these basketball coaches love calling their own shots. They're a different breed. It's not going to surprise me if Rick Barnes does this. If he gets up and quits in the fall, it won't.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
You know what I mean, Grant? It's just how their profession is. Go ahead.
I will say the difference in those scenarios, though, is say what you want about Danny White, and I'm with you on a lot of the critiques of Danny White. He ain't gonna give Justin Gainey a 5-year contract.
Totally agree with that.
Even a 2-year guaranteed contract. Now
he might get a year. He might give him a year.
Correct.
He might give him a year. That's right.
This John Cohen guy at Auburn, who's an old baseball coach.
Yeah.
That at Mississippi State, for some reason, Auburn hired to be the AD. I don't know. And again, I get that's a tough spot. Bruce Pearl, I mean, he's been the man on that campus for 10 years.
Oh.
To give the guy multiple years, I mean, he just got bullied. He got put in a locker by Bruce Pearl.
Yeah, he did.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
and they're just dealing with it now. But anyway, back to Barnes. Again, I know most people, despite what some people on the call-in shows, I think most Tennessee fans appreciate Rick. I just really, again, I think it's easy to get, like you've said, it's easy to get stale.
Yeah.
But I get the whole Final Four thing. Trust me, it's maddening. But the level at which we've won these last 7, 8, 9 years, I mean, I got a list of stats that I can give people if they want to know just how good it's been.
Send it to me.
And again,
email it to me.
I will.
Yeah, I want to see it, man.
Yeah, and I just, like I said, you better appreciate. And even then, it's possible as he gets older, maybe it falls off a little bit. Oh, and I was saying my last point too. People, and I agree with you that there's no guys that quote unquote connect with like Zakai and Jemai and Josiah and Santi, all those guys we've had. But like that was going to be the case with any team this year. We lost all the guys from last year, so like I think we've got a good nucleus that's going to build around. And assuming everybody's, it seems like as far as I hear, you hear, I think from some of the same people that I do, I don't think Rick's going anywhere right now.
No.
Unless something happens overnight. I mean, we got these 3, 4, 5 guys in this freshman sophomore classes. I think they're very excited about, and I think you're going to have guys that we can build around, build back up. And I think that's kind of unfair to this team and again, that's just human nature. I get that, but like to somehow hold that against these guys that we haven't known them for 5 or 6 years. Now, if they all transfer out, then that's a different story. If we lose all these freshmen and sophomores,
they're not going anywhere. No.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere. We know that. So, like, I mean, the loyalty that these guys build in this program is extremely impressive, too. The fact that we don't lose guys like the other schools do. And again, I mean, you're going to lose 1 or 2. That's just, Toby Awaka, what Jonas Adu.
And they didn't want to lose him. Yeah, they didn't want to lose those guys. Look, Adu got bought. They paid him $1.8 million. You going to pay Jonas Adu $1.8 million? No. The problem is
no.
When the Adu thing happened, it really screwed Tennessee because they had let Awaka walk, and they didn't know Awaka was going to walk. Otherwise, they would have paid him. But when he comes in and says, hey, they're going to pay me $1 million at Arizona, and Adu's on your roster, what are you supposed to do? I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, you're right. They just got just bad luck.
That was bad luck. They got kind of worked by the system, not by anything, but the system, which is how this thing goes.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, my main point, man, I still, like I said, I'm riding with Rick Barnes. I hope he gets to the Final Four, but that's a lot of luck. And again, Rick's not perfect. I'm with you. He's not the best in-game X's and O's coach. I'll say that, but everything else he does,
that's right.
Again, you better appreciate it.
That's right.
I mean, I'm not saying we can't hire a new coach and he makes a 3-week run to the Final Four. That's possible.
Sure.
But if you think another coach is coming in here and winning again at the year in, year out level we've won the last 8 or 9 years, I think that's going to be tough. Is all I'm going to say.
Well,
so,
thank you,
anyway,
my brother. The floor for close to 10 years, Matt, has been making the NCAA tournament comfortably as a really good seed. And Jordan, it's great hearing from you, man. Always great. You and your brother. Unbelievable how high the floor has been here, Matt. I never expected anything like this.
No. And that was before the portal NIL era.
Yes.
Kind of changed how the sport is.
Yes.
And Barnes has adapted and thrived in that. He's done extremely well once he built the thing up.
And let it be said,
since 2018, you've been outside of the COVID year where you were probably almost certainly going to miss the tournament. You've been not just in the tournament, but like a top 5 seed every year.
And let it be said. Let it be said that he's been really, 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 really good at bringing teams along as the year goes along. This team looked like it was dead a month ago to me. Now, this team was always going to make the tournament. But I'm just talking about as a living, breathing March entity. And, Bri, it was kind of a bummer a month ago, right? It's not right now, though. These guys know what they're doing. This guy knows what he's looking at.
Well,
and these guys know what they're doing.
It was a bummer after losing to Kentucky twice the way they did, but really I expected to lose at Florida and at Arkansas, and they haven't lost any other games than that. But some of the ways they've won have been kind of frustrating to watch, even in wins. But I have to say that overall, I mean, 9-4, you're tied for second in the SEC. You're 1 game behind I think you're 2 games behind the leader.
Yep.
I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at.
Back to the phones we go. 865-200-5402. The thing that's really impressive about Barnes, too, is that they've adapted in this era to the point where when Travis, what was that guy's name? He used to play point guard at Kentucky. Travis Ford, I think is his name. Called Barnes and said, hey, you're poaching Yuri Collins. They backed off of him. Now they just rip players off people's rosters. He's totally adapted in this era we're in. Because they should have taken Yuri Collins that year. In the current climate, the way he's adjusted, they would have taken him and said, Travis, I'm sorry, I can't help you, buddy. But back then he was like, yeah, well, okay, maybe we tampered around with him. Now it's like, okay, well, people like Grant just said, people rip players off my roster. I'm ripping them off your roster because this is kill or be killed. This is survive and advance. This is March Madness, baby, or March Sadness, baby. And by the way, it isn't Rick Barnes' doing that we have invented ways to get eliminated in the NCAA tournament. It isn't Rick Barnes' doing that we had a 7-point lead with the under 4 timeout during the Jed Ball era, and we had on a Friday night North Carolina on the ropes, and Brendan Haywood fouled out, and Jerry Green said in the postgame, I thought he had 4 fouls. 26-pound belt buckle. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hello, Tony. It's Richard.
There he is.
Yeah, it's been a while. Been a few weeks, definitely.
Been a long time.
Yes. But hey, I've been listening through the day as much as I can with my business, and but definitely been listening to the after game shows. So it's been quite interesting, I have to say, especially last Saturday after the LSU game. That was the all-time favorite, I had to think. So I was like, should I call Tony because you guys? Because I know I'm like, because everybody was complaining. I guess you weren't on that night, Matt, and his other guy, your other guy,
the great Alex Myers.
Yes,
had to sit there and
I know it's tough just because every call coming in was you thought we lost by 10 points. So instead of winning, which of course I understand LSU's not a very good team, but that night they played really good basketball, made a lot of shots. So sometimes that happens in basketball. People just got to quit getting upset about margin of victory.
It's a great sport, man. That's why it's a great sport.
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of like watching baseball, right? The best teams in baseball don't win every game.
Nope.
Ball don't bounce your way. Strike call didn't go your way. I mean, it's part of the game. But
hey, Richard, the year we won the College World Series, Florida State had us beat on a Friday night. We were going home with a case of rice-a-roni.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's sports, and sports, you know, I know Tennessee fans are upset. It's the history of Tennessee basketball is definitely Lucy pulling the football away from us. We know that is our history.
Yep.
But I will say this, that like I was listening to your ball cat yesterday, right? Which I'm like you. If you pick a team and root for them. Don't juggle both sides, man. Be Tennessee football and basketball for Kentucky. But I will say this, we are the best basketball program in the country that hasn't gotten to the Final Four. Hands down. Name another basketball
not
team
close.
out there.
No, it's not close. It's either us, BYU, or Xavier. Those are the three, and it's not close between those three.
Yes. And I'll go a step further. South Carolina has a Final Four with that team that got there, but would I swap that Final Four for what we do year in and year out with Rick Barnes? Not even close, Tony. Not even close. Give me the year in and year out opportunity to get there. We're playing in the tournament every year and winning. I would not swap a Final Four with South Carolina for their history and what they do.
You know, Richard, that's a great point, because all they have right now is YouTube they can go back to when they're driving home from another 20-point loss in their building. They can flip on YouTube and watch their little run they had.
Yeah, and I wouldn't swap it. Not at all. Saying that, when we come into the tournament, again, I know we got some tough games coming up. At Vandy is going to be a difficult game. They just played well in that gym, and we know at Missouri is capable of winning. I mean, we will easily lose the next two games, Tony, on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking big picture. I'm like Nashville Lee here. Lee looks at the tournament and just, the crapshoot sometimes it is. The one thing I know about the NCAA tournament, Tony, that we have not had going into this, even as good as Dalton was at those coming off curl threes and stuff, Nate's ability to drive and get anywhere he wants to get a shot. Yep. And more importantly, it's his ability to draw fouls, because in the tournament, Tony, they tighten up a little bit. And if he gets a regal whistle in the tournament, he's going to shoot double-digit free throws every game, because nobody has a player that can guard him and that can guard him without fouling him. So when you go into the tournament with a guy that can get to the free throw line like that and knock him down at the clip he's knocking him down at now, and you've got point guard, now you just need all you need your big is just to play good. They don't have to be great. You can advance a long way when you have that guy that can get to the free throw line in that tournament, because the officials will tighten up a little bit and won't call it the way the SEC has and let it get banged and bumped everywhere all over the floor.
Well, that's the deal. That's kind of the drill. And last night a caller called in, and it's a great point. Is Nate Ament going to be able to play through contact when you get against some of these great teams that have front lines that are going to push him around in March? And Maury Hanks, Scout's eye, he said, look, he's a 7-second player. So at the NBA level, they call those guys 7-second players. In other words, you give him the ball, he's going to create something, and they're going to be able to scheme matchups, put the ball in his hands in advantageous spots, and let him go to work. And look, as good as Dalton was not that. Now, Dalton was an incredible athlete. He could get off the floor and do a lot of things and shoot the three ball and could do some amazing, amazing things. Great player. I mean, he really was. And he was an older kid. But this guy, Richard, man, you can see it. Somebody said last night in our chat, which is a great point, the guy is just getting more and more comfortable in his own skin every time he walks out there in a basketball game.
Well, Tony, he's seeking contact now.
that's a beautiful thing going into the tournament. I'm telling you, when you've got his skill level and his height, when you seek the contact, I promise you, in the NCAA tournament, they will put you on the line when you're seeking it. So those guys are going to foul it. So basically, if I'm the coach, I'm telling my team, I'm like, okay, guys, when he goes into his jump shot mode, you just got to let him shoot it. Yep. Don't try to block it because you can't. Don't send him to the line. If he's on, he's on. If he's not, okay, great. Because that's the only way you're really going to be able to defend him when he's taken into that mid-range game around the paint. That's just the way it is. And this week against Vandy coming up Saturday night in Nashville, I think Jalen Carey bounces back and has a good game. Because the one thing Vandy doesn't have is
they're little. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the McLaughlin kid is their big guy. He's kind of like Carey. He's a big, wide kind of guy. Doesn't have great length. So I think Jalen, that's a matchup Jalen can take advantage of in this game coming up. So,
Carey looks like me, Richard. Looks like me. Carey looks like me.
Yeah, and I do think Jalen kind of plays to. I noticed it even at Vandy. He has games when he's really jacked, and he has a little better bounce in his step. Most of the games he does not have that. Like when we played Houston, Tony, he had a little bounce in his step in that game, and he had a little more lift, a little more of that. He's just not consistent at that. And so hopefully when we get into this stretch driving in the tournament, he plays with that little bit of edge. It gives him that little bit more, hop in his step a little bit and gets him up over some of this length that he's, like you said, he struggles with.
Richard, you're the man. Much love. 865-200-5402. Poor Carey, when he plays against length, he gets swallowed like he's in the Bermuda Triangle. That poor fella. As we continue with more on the other side, and we roll it back, we're going to preview the Vanderbilt Commodores. We're going to do so with one of the all-time greats, right, Bri?
The Southeastern 16, the great Chris Lee.
You bow, thy head. As we continue with more on the other side, Tennessee with a real battle on their hands, a real battle on Saturday afternoon. We continue with more after this.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fanrun Radio.
When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage, pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gouffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gouffon.com. That's Gouffon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gouffon Moving and Storage.
Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Cold weather is here. Is your heating system ready and running efficiently? Don't wait to find out. A simple tune-up now can help prevent costly breakdowns when you need your heat the most. Right now, Pipe Wrench is offering a $79 heating system tune-up to keep your home warm, safe, and worry-free all winter long. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune every part of your heating system for maximum efficiency and comfort, helping you avoid surprise breakdowns and high energy bills. And with Pipe Wrench Home Service's same-day service guarantee, you won't be left out in the cold waiting for help. Your comfort isn't just our job, it's our promise. Schedule your $79 heating system tune-up today at PipeWrench.com before winter decides to test your heater. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. For standard systems only, visit PipeWrench.com for details.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Living Vol fan, when it's time to get ready for 2026 and what's ahead, there's only one place. It's Alumni Hall, the best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands, Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. And check this out. All the basketball stuff that the Tennessee basketball fan could ever need. Some great Tennessee baseball stuff as well. Any season, any reason. Alumni Hall, 3 locations in Knoxville. Also Murfreesboro, Bristol, and now open, of course, in Johnson City. And anytime online, alumnihall.com. Say it loud, say it proud. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the volunteer state by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof. T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail,
T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right. Drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Little dead air there for the cause. You know what happens when we have a little dead air? That means I'm either deep in thought, distracted by a riff I'm playing on my guitar, having one of my 5 conversations that I will have off to the side, or I'm downloading one of our special guests. And that's exactly what I was just doing, because I was talking to the great Chris Lee, who I love, from Southeastern 16, who just does so much great stuff and gets up every day and pumps out the content and meets the moment, as they say in the trade. And, this deal, many are called but few are chosen. This is a deal where a lot of people think it's easy. They get in it, they do a couple podcasts, and they go, oh, damn, that's work. You mean I got to keep doing it? You mean like I got to keep, like a friend of mine that's a successful restaurateur told me. He said, here's the deal. You have a huge Saturday night, okay? All the guests that walk through that door on Sunday, they don't care about what happened last night. They want to have a great Sunday, and then a great Sunday night, and then a great Monday, and then a great Tuesday. And Chris Lee gets up every day and, to the best of his ability, answers the bell and pumps out great stuff. And Chris Lee, how we doing?
Hey, thanks for having me. You're very kind, and it's always just a blast to come on with you.
We were talking about what a night, man. I mean, first of all, you've covered Vandy for a long time, but this SEC hoops thing right now, and this hoops thing across the country, we started the show last hour with just celebrating how fun last night was.
I mean, it really was. I mean, you had that Arkansas-Alabama game, which frankly had my attention, at the start of Vanderbilt, Missouri, because you couldn't take your eyes off it. You look up and Josh Herbert's got 35 on 9 threes at halftime. And then you got Tyler Tanner doing what he did at Missouri and nearly leading one of the, probably one of the best, would have been one of the best comebacks in, the history of the SEC. They're down 21 with 8:40 left. And if a 50-something foot shot that Tanner threw up, which it rolled around the rim a little bit, if that goes down, then Vandy's stealing a road win at Missouri, where it didn't really play well for the most part until that last run. It was exciting last night.
And you had that crazy ABA, or like Matt, you called it, Matt, like a summer league basketball game. You had that summer league game with Arkansas and Alabama last night as well.
Yeah, I love those kind of games. And that just, to me, one thing I do like about college basketball, Tony's, the scoring's back. It just felt like a decade ago, we were stuck in these games where sometimes if you hit 65 or 70, it felt like an offensive outburst. I have some issues, I think, with the officiating at times, but I like that the free flowing, teams get out and running and shooting threes and those kind of things, and I like to see points, and that's been one of the fun parts of this season, is you get to see that again. Why is the scoring up, do you think? Is it just that these guys, these young kids, and we have older players as well, there's just so much skill in the game now? I mean, I think so. I mean, that's got to be part of it. I think it's easier to recruit to a system if you do play up tempo and play fun. And the SEC generally, you look at possession numbers compared to the rest of college basketball, most of the teams play faster than on average in the league than other places by a few possessions a game. Now, I'll give you the pessimistic view. I think that conditions overwhelmingly favor offense in the way the games are officiated. First of all, you see several obvious travels a game that never get called. Like if a travel gets called for anything. It might be if a guy takes a couple steps before he dribbles, but like you see guys get 4 and 5 steps.
Mm-hmm.
They call it the Euro step. I call it a travel.
Mm-hmm.
So that almost never gets called. You're in shock if a travel gets called for anything, and it's never on those. It's always on something that's, they just move their feet before they dribble, and everybody in the gym can see it. And then I think the offensive foul has almost been legislated out of college basketball. You see an offensive player just put his head down and run into a defender, that I don't know what that guy's supposed to do, but that gets called. Probably it feels like in games I've watched, that gets called in favor of the offense 9 times out of 10, if not more.
You know what's funny? Who was the kid, Matt? You guys will know this. You probably know it, Chris, and I know Brian knows it. The kid at Arkansas who's in the NBA right now who made a living on the defensive end foul grifting. Like they basically changed the rule because of him, the block charge rule, because it became so profuse the way he was getting away with it. Who am I thinking of, guys?
Is it
I'm
Jalen
drawing
Williams?
a blank.
Who is it, Matt?
Is it Jalen Williams?
Jalen Williams.
Okay.
Jalen Williams today, he fouls out of games. Back then, everything was a charge. And that's a great point you bring up. Another thing, I just kind of thinking about it here, another thing that they're doing is this continuation now, which I think has helped the scoring. And that continuation almost encourages those egregious travels because that's the NBA game, that continuation thing.
I 100% agree.
So it is really, 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 really interesting. As we visit today with the great Chris Lee, Southeastern 16, Tennessee and Vandy, one of my top of the mind questions for you that I must ask here is about Miles. What do you think? What happens with him on Saturday? And Tennessee's got Estrella, and I hear behind the scenes on Estrella that the situation there is that it's the same leg that he's had issues with in the past, lower extremity on his left side, and they're not going to rush him back. Look, if he wakes up Friday and says I can play, they're going to play him. And if not, they're looking at the tournament because they have bigger fish to fry, and Vanderbilt's already in the tournament, so they have bigger fish to fry. And Chris Lee just went like Joshy Boy, Bry. He just went bye-bye like Joshy Boy. But here he is back with us. Tell me about Miles and if you think he plays, Chris.
My guess is he does it, but I don't know. He's had a knee issue. I think he got a scope. They didn't come out and say it, but the language they used, the last time he played was January the 24th. They beat Mississippi State, I think, by 35 on the road. And he sat out after that, said he'd been playing through some knee pain. Originally, it sounded like he was going to be out maybe a couple of weeks. We're almost at a month. They said, I think after the Ole Miss game, they thought he'd be back in a week. He hasn't played since then. So we're looking at, if last Saturday, was a week, we're looking at 2 weeks out, which is a week later than they said they thought he might be back. And that's if he plays Saturday. Now, you just never know what he's going through. I don't think the kid's dogging it or anything like that. Nobody's made that insinuation. But they could really use him because Tyler Tanner's getting just worn down. The reason I think I'm pessimistic, Tony, is that first injury report that came out for Wednesday, the Tuesday one. They'd already listed him as out. I thought, well, I'm hoping to see Miles as probable to where maybe he's game time decision or something like that. But when they listed him out on the preliminary injury report, that made me wonder, okay, will they even see him at all Saturday if it was that definitive? I guess we'll find out.
Well, and that's a great point. Because, when you don't play games on the injury report, a guy's really hurt. That's kind of, they didn't even like pretend to play the game with him. I wonder how Tennessee does the Estrella thing, as well in light of what's going on with him. But, tell me about this club and where they are right now, because, if they don't fall last night and fall way behind and get out of there with a win, they're sitting there right at the top of the league with Tennessee. Like they're right in the standings. They're right at the very, very top of the deal, top 3 or 4 teams in the deal. Now I believe they're like in a several-way tie for like 5th or 6th or something of that ilk. But at any rate, having a very good year, Byington really knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
He does. I think he's a terrific coach. I'm not going to go elite yet because he needs to, win some more games. But you look, everywhere he was before, there were not places that had histories of winning, and he won more than the people before him and after him. And there weren't places that you could really recruit. The way they started the season, they were 16-0, and 13 of those were out of conference. And I remember FanDuel had them. I don't remember what the number was, but if you did the math on it, entering the season, I think, or maybe it was a couple games in, at one point they were a 48%, like they were almost even with the field to win the league. That's how good they were early. And what happened since then? Frankie Collins didn't play since the Memphis game. Nobody thinks he's going to play since then. Their style was they had Collins and Miles and Tyler Tanner. And look, some of this was just, picking on weaker competition. Some of it wasn't going to translate. But, man, those 3 guards just got in your grill and got after you. And they got so many easy dunks and layups on the other end. Plus, they could shoot the lights out. And then you can really get after people when you've got 3 guards who are durable and just can come at you and at you and at you. And so they're 16-0. And they're really looking like a team that, like, if it holds up inside for them, which is where they're a little weak, that I could have made a case. Like, if you'd said to me, Chris, this team makes the Final Four at that point, I wouldn't have laughed at you. So Collins goes out. Miles starts having some injury issues with his knee and isn't as effective. And we went through that a minute ago. And then what happened is they ran into the part of the league that had bigger, athletic, big men. Florida was in that category, and then they lost 3 in a row. The Florida game, they easily could have won, but didn't. No shame in that. But bigs underneath have just kind of given them problems. And so what they've had to do, Tanner's playing 37, 38 minutes a night. He got 4 fouls last Saturday. And then had to come out late in the game. Yeah, I think didn't play for about 6 minutes in a row against A&M, which is not the team you want to be without a point guard for. But they had a Cherokee and Nickel really handle the ball. But somewhere after Miles got hurt, they went from a team that just would play at a really, really fast pace to a team that started really grinding the shot clock and taking it inside a 10 because they were just wearing Tanner out. And then Tanner almost fouled out in that game last week. They're using, forwards as point guards because they have no other choice. It's been interesting because, like, if they are healthy with all their parts, they play one style of basketball that is just a blast to watch. But their bigs get in foul trouble. That's another reason they've had to slow it down. Like, you watch them at times, it's been almost like 2 completely different teams. One that really wins with picking pockets and getting out and forcing tempo and running, and another that likes to slow it down and really guards you really well in the half court. It's almost like with those injuries to those 2 guards, it's almost like it's not the same team. Look, the first team was clearly the better one, but I've been really amazed at how Byington has been able to adjust and completely change their style of play and still win more than they've lost.
Yeah, a lot of coaches will just continue to play the same system and ride off the cliff with it. And this guy's showing a wide range here. I've got a Vandy fan in here in our chat on YouTube. We've got 167 people watching us live, which is a pretty good number live for something 3 hours long. He says that Collins has been cleared to play for weeks. He wants a medical red shirt to get another year of NIL money. I mean, if that's true, and I have no, I'm going to say I'm throwing it out there, but what these coaches and administrators have to deal with now with these players and these agents, and I mean, is that possible that could be the case?
Man, I don't know anymore. And look, he is. I can tell you what I've been told from somebody I believe is he does legitimately have, a knee issue that he's had some discomfort. But the red shirt tolerance. I think you play 30% of your team's games. So out of a 30-game schedule, that's 9 games. Well, he played last year 9 games at TCU, and then sat out and then hit the portal. This is his 5th year. I think his 4th school. If he's able to run it back again, that would be, a 6th year and I guess a 5th school, assuming he goes somewhere else.
What are we doing?
He probably would. Yeah, I know. It's like, how stupid is this? And it's like, you've got a guy, and look, I don't know for sure, but sometimes it's what people don't say than what they say. Like the way Byington talks about Miles is one way, and the way he talks about Collins is completely a different way. Nobody has told me off the record, hey, Frankie's really busting his tail, and trying to get back. The perception is very opposite of that. He's not even been on the bench. Like 2 home games ago, he came out late, almost at tip-off. He's starting to hear it a little bit from the crowd. And then last game, he wasn't even on the bench at all. And frankly, if I don't think the kid is bought in and is going to play,
the crowd was getting at him. Really?
I don't know, like a bunch, but like there were some pointed remarks that he heard, from what I understand. And look, I don't really know that I have an issue with it. These kids are getting paid to play.
Yes.
Tyler Tanner's out there playing, recovering from the flu and hardly coming off the court. And, and you got a kid that, like, again, nobody suggested to me,
wow,
this kid is just out. Like, everybody thinks that's what's happening. I can't prove it. I don't know that it is.
Jeez.
But, like, I don't know, man. We got to get to a point where I get that players have rights and you want to make your best. And Frankie Collins is not a kid that's going to play in the NBA. And he's not a kid that's maybe even going to play in the G League. But come on, man. You committed to a team that could, with the right draw, make a Final Four or something like that. Maybe with the right breaks, could have won the conference.
He's at 9 games. He's at 9 and he's just holding.
The second year row, he's at 9 and just holding.
That's it.
And
9.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, God only knows with the courts, but I hate it, man.
Wow.
People are paying more than ever to go to these games. When you've got, I'm not a big fan of just like, it's only about me. And look, maybe he's getting bad advice from somebody that's been a quiet conversation, that I've had. I don't know what the deal. I mean, maybe he is legitimately hurt, right? And just is having a hard time. That does happen. But man, I mean, the timeline on the meniscus, it used to be sometimes a couple of weeks. He's been out since.
Been out since when? Say it again. I'm sorry. You skipped around on me. Is he getting ready to Josh you boy on us again? Are you there? Uh-oh. Sounds like he's skipping around on us. Hey, Brian, let him know to call us back, all right? He's skipping around on us. Maybe we'll get him back and bid him adieu. Hey, Matt, now that you hear him talk about this matchup, are we in good shape Saturday, or are we walking into a buzzsaw? What's going to happen here Saturday for us?
I'm kind of intrigued by it because
yes,
kind of there's some matchups that both teams have significant advantages in.
Yes,
like Tennessee should absolutely dominate them inside, especially on the offensive rebounding. Because Vanderbilt, they're about as bad as anybody in the league because they just don't have size.
Yes,
but they can spread you out, and when they were healthy, obviously they could score with their guards. So like Jalen Carey's kind of the X factor playing against his old team, and a coach that coached him for 2 years. So he should be able to be okay offensively, but defensively, if he's out there, the way that Vandy can spread the floor, they can kind of really create mismatches there.
Yep.
Which is why I think having Estrella would be big. But it's just a contrast of kind of styles, and we'll see. We'll see. If Ament and Gillespie play well, and again, this is those games you need kind of 50 from those two combined in
He's
some
back.
way.
Chris is back.
Yeah, I
get
got
the
him,
50 from those guys, then, and if Amen gets their guys in foul trouble, that could be a big factor. But I'm been curious how this game's going to play for a while, because I just think that both teams kind of stylistically, it's a very weird matchup for both.
But Chris, this is what's great about basketball. One of these teams going to make the other one play their game, and that team's going to win the game Saturday.
And I don't know what, in a way, it might be kind of the same game. I mean, you know what Tennessee wants to play, but again, Vanderbilt without the guards has had to slow it down and grind it. And, they do have bigs that will get physical. I think there's a little bit more alike than you think. I think, to me, the thing I think that would concern you from a Vanderbilt perspective is, again, size has given them problems. Tennessee's not as big as Missouri, but it's physical, for sure. I mean, it goes without saying it's a Rick Barnes team. Foul trouble is another thing you got to keep an eye on there. Okereke and Washington and McLaughlin just keep getting in it night after night after night. I know Tennessee's had some issues here too, but I don't know. I'm almost the way Tanner has just been getting worn out. He's taken a lot of contact. Again, he's been recovering. He's played great. Some of the shots at the rim that he was making earlier in the year, even the difficult ones, are not starting to fall. I was concerned about this stretch for them last night. The Missouri game, I wasn't shocked at how it played out. In terms of Missouri kind of running away with it for a while and then Vandy making the charge at the end. I don't know. This one concerns me. I'm to be honest, I'm kind of leaning Tennessee here, just because I think the way Nate Amen has played lately, and just having big guys that can give them issues. I'm kind of leaning that way, but who knows? I mean, Vanderbilt. I've seen them a couple times this year where I didn't feel great about the matchup, and they end up winning anyway. So Auburn being one of those, but Tennessee's a lot better team, I think, right now than Auburn is too.
Chris Lee, you're kind of my man. What can I say? I can't wait to get you on here and talk some baseball. It's going to be unbelievable, Andy. The stretch drive here and then the baseball season that's upcoming. It's going to be wild and fun and all that good stuff like it always is. You can track it every step of the way at Southeastern 16. Tell them about it, Chris.
Yeah, Southeastern 16. Just find us on YouTube and your podcast destinations. We cover baseball, football, and basketball year-round, do it in depth. We just had a series preview of Week 2 of SEC baseball that I got done literally just a couple of seconds before I came on air with you, and you can check that out. And then my colleagues Blake Lovell and Max Barr got us covered on basketball with predictions, recaps, and all that fun stuff.
You're my man. I thank you. I appreciate you, and God's blessings to you, my man. It's always great talking to you.
Yeah, God bless you. It's always fun, and thank you for having me.
I love the great Chris Lee. You know what they're saying over here? Puerto Rican Willie Stargell said the guy went over his word limit, Matt, twice and got cut off by his provider. They're calling him wordy, Matt.
Chris is good.
Do you
love his baseball coverage when that gets ramped up in league play?
Do you like our listeners, Matt, how ignorant they are? I mean, they're just so fun. They're just so crazy. The way I get hazed, other people get hazed. Everybody gets hazed. Everybody's hazing everybody.
Yeah, that YouTube chat's a kind of a Rick Barnes style game. You got to come in there and be physical and tough to hang out.
Well, he said if this guy's getting paid by the word, this guy's going to have enough money to buy me out. Brian, they're hazing your guy, man, and my guy. Tough love on the Ave. Tough love, man, on the escalator of life. Tough love in the human maw, Brian Hartman. Brian Hartman? How about this Collins thing, Matt, where the guy's played 9 games and it's like the worst kept secret around there. And Vandy Daddy said, or Vandy Dan, whatever this guy calls himself, I like him. He's in there every day fighting a good fight for himself. He loses every day, but he says Byington alluded to it in a post-game press conference, and it was really awkward. Guy just plays 9 games, did the math, Matt. Somebody told him in his inner circle, hey, your knee injury here, man, just, kind of like what Ezio told me the day that I got punched in the face on the schoolyard playground. He said, stay down. Stay down, man. Collect some money next year. Stay down.
Yeah, we've seen that kind of started going on here in this NIL era where,
sad.
Whether it's an injury, whether your team just performs poorly and early in the year and you kind of check out, and it's a weird thing to deal with because, there's every situation's kind of different, but yeah, it has to be frustrating to have a guy that could probably play, but is kind of electing not to. I mean, the guy at Kansas is kind of the same way. The 5-star guy, the Patterson, really odd deal there.
Yep.
But it's just kind of this new age. You got to kind of figure out a way to deal with it.
Well, you got to hope you don't have turds on your team. There's an old saying.
Yeah, you got to make sure you get the right players.
Yeah. As an old school football coach, and many of you know who I'm talking about that know him, but his saying was you got to manage your turds. Because you're going to get some turd guys that are going to play for you. And you just got to figure out a way.
The Duke Miles loss is a lot more impactful for Vandy than Collins because they played without him for, much of the season. But Miles, I think they're 5-5 in their last 10.
Yep.
And he's missed 7 of those games. So it definitely changes how you can defend them. They can't spread you out as much, which should help against Tennessee, who, plays the 2 bigs often. And Vandy almost doesn't even play a big, really.
Bronny boy, are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay, I didn't know if we lost you. They're saying that our guest gets paid by the word, Bri. Bri, are you not going to sell for that at all?
What do you
think of Puerto Rican? What do you think of Puerto Rican Willie Stargell? What do you think of him?
I don't.
I
don't think much of anybody in the chat room.
Wow!
Look at it.
Wow, we got heat. We got heat on the dance floor. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy, That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care. I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Basilio here with my buddy, Connexio Kristen.
Hey, Tony. Good to see ya. Connexio builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the #1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Connexio.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Connexio, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game. In this, the year of the World Cup in North America, celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
From the sunrise over the Smokies to the Saturday cheers at Neyland Stadium, Knoxville isn't just where we live, it's home. But let's be honest, finding your perfect spot in a hot market can feel like a full-time job. Whether you're looking for a Craftsman in 4th and Gill, a family home in Farragut, or a view in South Knox, the market moves fast. You need more than a listing. You need an edge. And that's where I come in, Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. And I specialize in helping Knoxville buyers win. I don't just find houses, I find the right fit for your budget and your lifestyle. Ready to unlock your front door? Visit nextmovesmokymountains.com or call me at 865-694-5904. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com. And as always, go Vols.
Pretty fired up, pretty focused, pretty prepared for this sports weekend. You got Vanderbilt on Saturday afternoon. You got our Lady Vol softball team in action. Still haven't heard anything on Joey Aguilar. Somebody said something. There's a report from an Atlanta radio station. Look, this is what they're saying, okay? Allegedly. And I have no idea. But I'm going to throw this out here because it makes no sense. But there's an Atlanta radio station saying that the NCAA is getting ready to say, okay, junior college years don't count. If you were wanting to open up Pandora's box, if you're the NCAA, do you know how many players would be stashed in junior colleges all over America if you do that? Do you know how many 25, 26, 27-year-old quarterbacks there'd be in America if you did that? Matt, can you even consider saying that out loud? And maybe the NCAA does it. I don't know. But could you imagine, Matt, a world where the NCAA would say, yeah, go to junior college. It doesn't count.
I don't think it's good for the sport at all.
It makes no sense.
No. I mean, you'd still have the majority of, the guys that it'd just be guys who were under recruited or, late bloomers or whatever, because your high end guys are still going to go take an NIL paycheck somewhere where I'm sure that's just not available at junior colleges.
Or how about this, Matt? How about this? Northeastern Oklahoma at one time was a college pretty, what's the word? Friendly toward Tennessee and a few other schools in the SEC, but NEO, you'd park a guy there. What's stopping a Tennessee from paying a kid to play in a junior college and just putting him there? Now another guy's saying it. Jeff Williamson saying that 680 The Fan said it this morning. What would stop a Tennessee and Alabama, a Georgia, a Texas A&M, and LSU from saying, hey, Matt Dixon, I really like you, man. Now, I don't have room for you on my roster right now, but you could be the quarterback of the future for us. I want you to go down there. I want you to get stronger. I want you to gain some weight. And by the way, here's a couple $100,000 over the next couple of years. Go play football. Let me tell you something. If the NCAA says that's the law of the land, that's exactly what's going to happen. And then what's going to happen is you're going to have a feeder system and an unprofessional sport, which is what major college sports are right now. It's totally unprofessional in every way, shape, and form, is going to become more unprofessional. You think it's bad now? Allow these guys and gals a loophole, and they're going to have their own little minor league system. Now, we could argue, is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? Does it open it up with opportunity for more people? I mean, I'm just kind of thinking through this, the ramifications of that. Because in a sense, it would open the pool up for a Joey Aguilar coming out of high school. Somebody sees him and they say, hey, Joey, you don't have a rating by your name, man. We don't know who you are. Go out there to City College of San Francisco. Go out there to El Diablo, play in a league nobody knows about. And here's $100,000 for you. We don't know who you are, but we're willing to gamble on you. I think that's exactly what's going to happen if they do that. People are saying, well, that's a waste of NIL money. No, it's not. No, it's not at all. Not if you have a vision, it's not. Not if you know how to pick them. Not if you're there at Indiana. Hey, let me tell you something about the people in Indiana. Whoever's doing their player picking, I can promise you this. The people that don't make the cut at Indiana to get signed by them are damn good players. And they could take 2 or 3 of them. They have the money. They could take 2 or 3 of them and keep them on the hook and send them to a junior college to get some seasoning where it doesn't count against them for the promise of riches. Matt, am I right or wrong?
No, I certainly think you can, if you have connections, you know, you can kind of place guys in spots.
Yep.
With kind of like an eye on them for the future. I definitely think that goes on with some programs, and I think the best ones probably do that now.
Sure.
I don't think that you'd have to pay them. I do think it's kind of silly to pay somebody to play on somebody else's roster with no kind of guarantee that they even would sign with you if they got good.
Well, hey,
but I do think you can place guys in certain spots, and it'd probably help the on-field product because you'd get more more correct evals on guys. So especially at the quarterback position, because a lot of backups, you know, it's hard to improve when you're a backup and you don't, you know, get live reps.
It almost feels like they did that with the Tanner Franklin kid from Jefferson City for baseball, where they sort of said, okay, go to Kennesaw for a year and we'll get back to us. That's what that kind of feels like.
Well, it's like, hey, Bri, we had Dave Serrano on here, and he said, I want to be a place where we park players for Tennessee. He said it openly on our airwaves. Dr. ZDDS says, if you have a JUCO coach that you think is good enough to develop a guy that you want to park there, then you should have him on your staff. Dr. ZDDS, you're missing the point. You will have him on your staff. That's the point. Why wouldn't you slide him a few dollars? The guy's going to watch your kid for you. And what I would argue is if you have your own junior college where you park some guys, it wouldn't be a lot of them, but it'd be a few. And it might be a quarterback that you're going to take a flyer on. Of course, you're going to slide him some money, and you're going to say to him, hey, can you keep other schools away from this guy, you know, when they come snooping around? Because that's gone on for years as well. I'm telling you, back in the day, that's how it worked. Now, I don't know in the money era. I don't know how all that would. I'm just thinking out loud here of what 680 The Fan has said. You guys could be right. And this could be an antiquated way of looking at the world. Or then again, will the really smart, buttoned up programs that have a way of identifying players, because I can tell you right now, the Indianas of the world, whoever's doing their deal, their player personnel, could look at somebody in high school and go, hey, in 2 years, I'm going to park you over there. I guarantee you can play. You could help us in 2 years. Now, you might not have a rating right now, but I'll bet we could help you, especially if they were down there at James Madison, where that's the kind of player they were dealing with anyway. I'm not trying to be funny here. I'm being 100% serious. Now, if you don't know what you're looking at, okay, then this doesn't apply to you. You're free to move about the cabin. But if you know what you're doing, and you know the deal, Benny Hill, and you know the score, let's go to the phones. I think it's interesting. So something 680 The Fan said, look, if that's the case, great news for Joey Aguilar. He'd be free to move about the cabin. Do I think that's the case? No, I don't. Because I just think the ramifications of it. If you allowed junior college to not count, you would have so many 25 and 26-year-old quarterbacks walking around, it would blow your mind. Because they would stash quarterbacks there. That's exactly what they would do. You go down there and get some seasoning. You come back a man. Hello and welcome in. You're on our Thursday edition as we go back to our phones. 865-200-5402 if you want to get the hunt in the mix. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, guys. This is Dennis in Chattanooga. How are y'all doing?
Hey, great to hear from you, my friend.
Hey, Tony, last night you dumping on Pat Adams and Maury Hanks telling you that he works his tournament and is his buddy is why Garza Law is the show of the people.
How great was that, dude? Maury said he works my tournaments. I'm like, yeah, the guy's always trying to get on television. But Maury made a good point, which is those guys are going by the books. and it's what they want, and it's a part of their grade, whether or not they go to the monitor late, which is a good insight. I've never even thought about that. I'm still going to rip Pat Adams for it, though, because why not?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, the theme of the last couple of weeks is Nate Ament, how far he can take this team. And with him playing the way he's playing, our ceiling's so much higher. You guys were talking earlier about Connect. I mean, these are obviously probably the two best offensive playmakers we've had in a number of years, maybe ever, at least in my lifetime. But Connect being 6'6" and this guy being 6'10" is kind of crazy.
Well, you're exactly right. I mean, look, Dalton Connect is in a spot in L.A. where he got totally lost. If the trade would have gone through when they tried to trade him to Charlotte, he's probably having an NBA career right now. As it is, he's a 6'6" guy they don't run things for, who really can't get his own shot. The difference between Nate Ament and Dalton Connect is simple. Nate Ament can get his own shot on the floor wherever and whenever he wants. Now, there are going to be times where he's going to go against somebody that's got 50 pounds on him down low, and he's going to get blasted when he takes his own shot. But the beautiful thing about him is that's why I've been saying all year, you should give him the ball. You should let Gillespie play some two guard and let Nate Ament initiate that offense, which, by the way, they're starting to do some now. Not that I'm some kind of genius, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that this guy could play all 5 positions on that floor if you needed him to. He really could.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And DK, Dalton connected to a lot of his shots were kind of fadeaways.
Yes.
And that's what created space for him. This guy doesn't have to do this. This guy can just jump up and rise over somebody and shoot it.
Yes.
And it helps him draw more fouls that way.
My favorite thing he does that harkens back to the basketball I grew up watching, because it's a lost art now, is the mid-range game. You do not see. It's a very, very seldom you'll see somebody shoot a mid-range shot the way Nate Ament does. But him from 15 feet is like a layup, man. I mean, he's so good at it. Matt, isn't that a really underrated piece of his game, Nate Ament in that mid-range?
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of what can separate him, because you can't. And again, his ability to get to the free throw line and score at the rim is because he can do it from all 3 levels. Doesn't rely on threes. Although I'd prefer he take a few more threes as opposed to the really long twos. But no, he's just really tough to guard, even if you kind of double team him, or, you have to almost just deny him the ball, because there's nobody that can really guard him in the college game with just his skill set and size and athleticism. So I do think you're kind of selling Connect short. I thought Connect could do whatever he wanted out there too. But they used to just isolate and let him go one-on-one on guys, and he could create his own shot pretty dang well.
That's a damn good point, because he could dunk over
people.
Lanier
Last year, Lanier was a catch and shoot guy.
That's right.
But I thought Connect and Ament are both can kind of do what they want and shoot the ball and score from anywhere. I think.
And that's Derek Dooley noted.
Connect
Matt
was a mid-range guy too.
That is Derek Dooley noted. Derek Dooley noted. Chattanooga, are we selling him short? What do you think?
No, I totally agree. And he's 6'10", though. That's the only thing I'll say. 6'10" is 6'10".
6'10" is 6'10", and plays like he's 7 feet. I mean, to your point, he can get off the ground. There's nothing Nate Ament can't do on a college basketball floor. I early on was looking at him going, man, what was Rick Barnes seeing in him? And we were talking back in November. Rick Barnes, to his staff, was totally invested, because internally not everybody was in favor of giving that